Rise of the Beasts will feature numerous factions from Transformers lore, from the expected Autobots versus the Decepticons to the introduction of the Beast-era Predacons versus the Maximals, and also tossing in a little bit of the Terrorcon threat, and maybe even some other surprises are being teased. So let's talk about the Rivalries and why they're gonna be the central focus of it according to the producers and director. If you are somebody that's been watching Transformers for a long time, like myself, and if you're somebody that's had a, let's say a problematic relationship with the films so far, you're probably wondering, can you assure me that this film will be more like Bumblebee in nature and not try to be too screwy with everything? Just respect the source material. And quite clearly, they are aware of this, and they wanted to really cut to the chase and explain their version of the characters, the factions, and specifically recently, they talked about the Rivalries and the Predacons. And one thing they said is that the difference between the other films that came before and what they're doing now is that the Predacons in this film will be more reptilian in nature and will in fact resemble their identities and looks from the actual source material. In my mind, this is telling me, hey, remember those Transformers movies that you watched where things were just all over the place and you're like, wait, what Transformer is that? Where did you come up with that? What were you, that looks nothing like them. That was literally me most of Transformers 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it was just all over the place. I think right here, they're trying to assure us that they're like, look guys, when you see a Predacon that you know, you're going to see a Predacon, you're going to go, I can identify that character. Look at Bumblebee, for example. When you see that scene on Cybertron, you're like, oh, yeah, I can identify every single one of these characters because they look like the characters that I know. And that's something that they mention time and time again, is that they're looking at Bumblebee. This is a sequel to Bumblebee, and they want to focus on recognition for these factions and the characters. And one thing that, again, that they teased very heavily is the rivalry between the Predacons and the Maximals and the Terrorcons, and how everything comes into play, and that there will be a distinct rivalry between everybody, but also that the way each character looks represents the faction they work with. So when you look at what they said about the Predacons looking more reptilian in nature, that sort of, I think, defines to me what they're going for in aesthetics and design. So when you see them all standing side by side, you go, oh, I can tell exactly who is part of what faction. Because an Autobot is not going to look like a furry ape, because that's for the Maximals. And they specifically said that the approach to the design is to have the natural enemy of the faction be the opposite of it. And they said that if you look at the Predacons, they're the natural enemy of the Maximals. So when you look at the two standing opposite of each other, you know automatically by visual cues what is going on. That right there, music to my ears. Because I would just hate to look at both sides and go, yeah, they're both just pure silver. Wait, that looks nothing like Rhinox. What? He looks like a train. How did you name a train Rhinox? See what I mean? That's like the old films. What they're saying is there's going to be none of that. Because, you know, Astro Train should be a train, not a rhino.